Today, our topic is how to handle failure like a Stoic. Failure is something everyone faces in life. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you do, you will fail at some point. It could be in your job, your relationships, your studies, or even in your personal goals. But here is the thing: failure is not the end. It's just a part of life. The Stoics, who were ancient philosophers, believed that how we handle failure is more important than the failure itself. They taught us that we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. This idea is powerful because it gives us a way to stay calm and strong, even when things go wrong. So let's talk about how you can handle failure like a Stoic. First, let's understand what Stoicism is. Stoicism is a philosophy that started in ancient Greece and Rome. It was founded by a man named Zeno, and later developed by thinkers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics believed that the key to a good life is focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. They also believed that challenges, like failure, are opportunities to grow and become better. This might sound simple, but it's not always easy to do. When we fail, it's natural to feel sad, angry, or frustrated. But the Stoics would say that these emotions don't help us. Instead, we should try to see failure as a teacher. One of the most important Stoic ideas is the difference between what we can control and what we can't. Imagine you're playing a sport. You can control how much you practice, how hard you try, and your attitude during the game. But you can't control the weather, the referee's decisions, or how good the other team is. The Stoics would say that you should focus on what you can control and not waste energy worrying about what you can't. This is especially true when it comes to failure. If you fail at something, ask yourself, what could I have done differently? If there's something you could have improved, work on it. But if the failure was caused by something outside your control, like bad luck or other people's actions, then there's no point in being upset about it. Another Stoic idea is to practice gratitude. When we fail, it's easy to focus on what went wrong. But the Stoics would say that we should also think about what we still have. For example, if you fail a test, you might feel bad about your grades. But instead of just feeling bad, you can think about how lucky you are to have the chance to learn and improve. You can also think about the people who support you, like your family, friends, or teachers. Gratitude helps us see the bigger picture and reminds us that failure is just one small part of life. The Stoics also believed in preparing for failure. This might sound strange, but they thought that if you imagine the worst-case scenario, you'll be less afraid of it. They called this practice premeditatio malorum, which means premeditation of evils. For example, if you're worried about failing a job interview, you can imagine what would happen if you did fail. Maybe you wouldn't get the job, but you would still have other opportunities. Maybe you would learn something from the experience that would help you in the future. By thinking about failure in advance, you take away its power to surprise or upset you. One of the most famous Stoic philosophers, Epictetus, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful idea because it reminds us that we have a choice. When we fail, we can choose to give up, or we can choose to keep going. We can choose to be bitter, or we can choose to learn. The Stoics believed that every challenge is an opportunity to practice virtues like courage, patience, and resilience. These virtues make us stronger and better people, and they help us handle whatever life throws at us. Another Stoic practice is to reflect on your failures. Instead of trying to forget about them, take some time to think about what happened. Ask yourself questions like, what did I learn from this experience? How can I do better next time? What can I control? And what can't I control? Reflection helps us turn failure into a lesson. It also helps us see that failure is not something to be ashamed of. Everyone fails, even the most successful people in the world. What makes them successful is not that they never fail, but that they don't let failure stop them. The Stoics also believed in the importance of perspective. When we fail, it can feel like the end of the world. But if we step back and look at the bigger picture, we'll see that most failures are not as bad as they seem. For example, if you fail a test, it might feel like a disaster. But in the grand scheme of your life, it's just one small moment. Years from now, you probably won't even remember it. The Stoics would say that we should try to see our failures in the context of our whole lives. This helps us stay calm and focused, even when things don't go as planned. Finally, the Stoics believed in the power of action. When we fail, it's easy to feel stuck or helpless. But the best way to move forward is to take action. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, focus on what you can do next. Maybe you need to practice more, ask for help, or try a different approach. The important thing is to keep moving forward. The Stoics would say that action is the antidote to despair. When we take action, we regain control over our lives and remind ourselves that we are capable of overcoming challenges. In conclusion, handling failure like a Stoic means focusing on what you can control, practicing gratitude, preparing for challenges, reflecting on your experiences, keeping things in perspective, and taking action. It's not about ignoring your emotions or pretending that failure doesn't hurt. It's about choosing to respond to failure in a way that makes you stronger and wiser. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every time you fail, you learn something new, and you get one step closer to your goals. So that the next time you face failure, don't be afraid. Be like a Stoic. Stay calm, stay focused, and keep moving forward.